Doug Cross.
Present.
Jacob Everett.
Present.
Eric Hayden.
Present.
Dennis Johnson.
Present.
John McPherson. Present.
All right, so the folders just give some basic information. A lot of it's stats. First two pages are kind of what we're trying to do or what we've done. Just go through it pretty quick since of shortness. Start off with the training. We do our normal training, 24 hours. Our biggest thing we got going on right now is we're, with Jensen Fiona quitting, our investigator, we're trying to get 2 people up to speed. So Dominic Smith has taken over all the sex crimes, sex abuse, child abuse, and Pete Sinefield's doing all the other stuff, which primarily it's about fraud, is our biggest heavy hitter. So they're going to classes, they're doing a lot of classes. Dominic was in a week-long one last week that she had to go to for the sex crimes, and they're both going to one in 2 weeks, 2-day class down in Lawrence. And then we're still looking for an EVO instructor if anybody can teach us how to pursuit drive.
I think we need more than just pursuit driving training based on the damage we've seen in the last few years.
That's replacing the guy who did $30,000 worth of damage, who was our EVO instructor. Yes. So it's just a matter of figuring out who wants to go to a 2-week class to be an instructor than a 2-week class to teach that specific skill.
Can you get a police officer to do it?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
You interested?
Yeah.
Try to get you hooked up.
Pardon?
I'll get you hooked up.
Appreciate it.
So training, that's kind of what we're doing. Everybody met their training for last year, state mandated, we didn't lose anybody. They could actually be stripped of their police powers if you didn't get your minimum hours in, but we all made it. Then to the next one is just replacing equipment. Our cars, as you mentioned, seem to be the issue. We got a 2015, a 2016, 2018 are our oldest cars. Those are ones reserve drive, so they're only used once or twice a week, maybe once or twice a week, but they're starting to have a lot of issues. We put a water pump in one, I think, last month. It was only $2,700. So if we could try to, the goal is to get rid of those and get some newer cars in and get them back to where we're not doing a whole lot of maintenance on them is the main thing.
Parks Auto Shop didn't want to take care of it.
Who?
The Parks Auto Shop didn't want to take care of it.
You know, we go to Lloyd's, and he's got one mechanic up there that does work like that. Before they hired that one mechanic, it's Mark Reinberger, I don't know, he lives here in town, they wouldn't do work like that. Because you got to tear the whole front of the car off to change a water pump nowadays on those, yeah. And they're like, well, while we're in there, you might as well change the timing gears or timing chains, because if not, you know, they could go bad in a week. So we got it all exposed, so why don't you should do it? $2,700.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But if the town could get a mechanic, that'd be awesome.
Find Rhonda.
Yeah, she's interested in whatever. So that's what we're talking about. We got 2 cars on order when you gave me permission to do it, I think in January. Haven't got them, haven't heard word on when they're coming in. If we do continue to grow, then it might have to be where we're ordering more than 2 per year sometimes. Just to kind of get everybody on a rotation and not keeping old cars is the goal. Let's see. We replaced all of our weapons in the last couple of years. We did our duty guns, we did our off-duty guns, we did our rifles, so we're good to go there. Don't need to replace anything like that. Our next probably biggest thing is our tasers. And of course this is Taser or Axon, the manufacturer saying they're only good for about 5 years. And we're probably about half of ours are at that 5-year mark. Will they work? I'm sure they will. But also they have 3 models out, and what we carry is the bottom of the line. So they don't really service a lot of them anymore. They just sell you one if they got it. If not, you got to buy the new ones. The sticker shock that I got when they told me what it was going to be for 14 tasers was $76,000, $431. But they'd graciously put us on a 5-year payment plan of about $16,000 a year. But for that, you get the taser, you get the holster, you get the batteries, they give you the cartridges that you shoot out, and they replace them whenever you actually use them. They send you training tasers every year. They give you cloud storage for all the information when you do shoot somebody. It records all the times and the durations of the shock and all that stuff. So it's kind of a big package deal. It's
What's the
just
life expectancy of those? How much?
5 years.
5 years.
Uh-huh. So
How
it's,
often do you use those?
me personally, I've
Yes.
carried one about 25 years and I've never pulled it on anybody.
How often?
Last time we tased somebody, probably 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah.
And it's really not an option, though, you have to have it, right?
So I spoke to Aaron, called, because mine, or one of our guys went bad, I gave him mine, since he's on the road more than I am, and asked Aaron about me just not carrying one, and he goes, liability, you guys have them, you can get one, you need to carry it. So I can't just have like guys working the road carry them, according to him, at least right now. Well, since I actually go on calls with them, perhaps if I didn't go on calls, did like all admin, then I could get away with it, or maybe Grishaw, but the guys on patrol need to carry them since we've had them. But yeah.
Since these things have become so expensive, could we try to get them on some sort of rotation like the cars?
They,
We're buying a few every year?
you could do that. This was just like a big lump sum to redo all of them at once, and I was just trying to get a number together to present to y'all. And the Taser they presented was a Taser 10, which is the newest model. They also have a Taser 7, which I'm sure would be lesser, and they refused to give me a quote on it when I asked for it at the time, but, so I'm sure it is cheaper. But it may be better off to go every, buy 3 a year or something like that, just to, and buy them outright.
What about any grants or anything for those? Have you started to look into that at all?
I think the lady that I talked to from Axon, the manufacturer, said there are some out there. It's just I don't know if we qualify for any of them. But it's something we could definitely look into, absolutely.
Do you happen to know if we can use any opioid money for that? I haven't checked.
I don't know. On that list that I would looked at, I didn't, not for the, probably not for the restricted, because what I seen in there is all, and that's all the money you're going to have left, I think. The restricted is pretty much you got to use it for engineering or not engineering, like pamphlets or treatment and stuff like that.
Yeah, let's put that on our list.
I'd rather you guys have them. I'd rather you have them and not need them than need them
Right.
and not have them.
Yeah.
People are-
Because if not, I mean, it could be a situation where we go from somebody that carries like a baton or pepper spray to the next step they got to gun. You don't have another kind of intermediate option with the Taser. Liability-wise, and also, you had them before, why don't you have them now? And it could save us in the long run. It's just, like I said, that $76,000. Now, they said they could buy back what we have now. I think we got 12 right now, and then knock about $3,000 off the bill
Total?
for buying our old ones.
Shoot, buying 3 outright every year is more
Total.
expensive than the 5-year
Yeah.
payment. It's about $6,800 a piece.
Like the one we have here, I think it's around $2,000, but you get nothing. You get the Taser, and then you got to buy the battery separate, but it's about $2,000, I think, $2,200. You don't get the storage, you don't get the cartridge replacement. Like when we train with them, we have to train with them every year, and we're supposed to shoot 2 cartridges out of it every year just to prove proficiency or know how to do it. And the cartridges are like, I think the training ones are $30 a piece. So 60 an officer, we got 19 officers. And that's part of the deal with the new one is they would give us enough cartridges. It's a big chunk of money, I know.
And I'm not saying it's gonna be better to stay, do a few a year, that may not be, so we gotta rely on you to tell us what we need
Yeah.
and what's safe and all that kind of
That
stuff.
was my first thought when she told me $76,000,
Yeah.
and that little pucker factor, like, whoo. But like I said, she wasn't real forthcoming with, here's what they are individually. So I don't know if I can just divide that number by the 14 I
Right.
asked to quote and say, this is what it's going to cost to buy one. But that is something, we got to look into, I think.
Is that the only supplier?
Exxon, I think so, as of right now. But like I said, I think ours are right at 5 years, most of them are anyway. We've replaced a couple here and there, but probably like everything else, it's not gonna die out. We put new cartridges. Our cartridges have a shelf life also, So we're keeping those up to speed. And, everybody, you're supposed to check it like weekly, I think. Do it like a spark check, they call it. Take the cartridge off and just run it, make sure it's working right, and then replace the batteries when needed. And if they act up, then basically it's trash and you buy a new one right now for us. So I don't think anybody's had a problem with them malfunctioning, not working when they went to use it. But like I said, it's probably been 3 years since we've actually tased somebody. Questions on any of that so far?
Nope.
All right.
Where's one more thing on here that you skipped, our radar sign?
Oh, yeah,
Radar.
yeah.
So we got 4 of those things, and they're all along Jackson. 2 as you're coming into town on each side, and 2 as you're going out. We got one that's been like a problem child to us, and it's the one in front of Rhonda's office. And I think Jimmy bought them, so they've been there about 5 years or so. But the one over there in front of Rhonda's office, we've sent in probably 4 times to get worked on, and probably spent, like I said, in there about $3,000, $3,500 on it to get it repaired. When they repair it, you don't get any warranty, maybe like a 30-day or something like that. And then it'll last for 6 months, 9 months, and send it back in. But anyway, we're looking to replace it instead of just keep putting money in the same thing. The other ones we've never had problems with, except, well, one of them got knocked off the pole, got damaged, got repaired, put back, not another problem. Another one got hit in a car wreck, no problems. It's just that one. So instead of keep putting money into a bad one, my thought is just put it in the trash and buy a new one. And then we thought about, do we go with a different brand? Do we keep the same? And then I think we concluded we'd just rather keep the same and have the same manufacturer, same. Grishall's the one that works them, does all the naughty and nice and gets all the data off of them. That way he's familiar with what we got going on instead of having to learn two different signs and so forth. But
How much are they? 2,500, so.
Yeah, that's what they were when Jimmy bought them. I think they're closer to 3 now, but they said they'd give us a couple $100 discount since we've had a lot of problem with that one, and if we buy another one from them. And I'm sure it's something we got. I can buy it out of my funds.
I just want to ask the guy saying that there's a grant.
Yeah.
I'm watching this grant.
Yeah. If not, I'm sure we got money. We can buy it out of the golf cart fund.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I mean, people do like them. People, we got that little portable trailer that we use when the we use to put it up in the wintertime, but in the summer it's out all the time, and we'll set it down there. And you can definitely tell the difference. People coming in town, they'll be hauling ass, and yeah, they see that sign. Most people see the sign.
So if you take it out of the golf cart money, can you say speed up for those going 15?
Just to put it back in. We can have it say whatever you want to. If I could put one on Cass Street somewhere around La Cascada.
That's so wrong.
I will personally name it. Oh, goodness.
That's on it makes your day to see me slam on my brakes.
It is. Well, I remember to go over there. The new officer one, I talked to Joe about it, and I'm talking about probably bringing it up tonight, but in 2025 budget, we got approved and actually funded for a new officer. And I do believe in the 2026 budget, we got approved for a new officer. The funds and all that there. I don't believe it's cut out, I don't think, if I remember right.
I think we did cut that out, actually.
Did you?
We'll have to look at that, but we
Yeah.
at least discussed cutting it out.
We did.
You had 2, you had a replacement,
Oh, yeah.
and then you had a new, correct?
I think we
Yes.
had to squash the new, if I'm not mistaken.
No, at one time maybe you had 2. I don't remember.
I'm going to put one in there, I do believe.
For 2026?
replacement?
I think so.
Well, that's all he needs.
But the money was budgeted in 2025 also. Maybe I'll get with you.
Let's talk about it.
But let's say the money is there. But I was going to ask you to see if we could start that process and looking for those officers. It's just trying to get ahead of the game. I know the sewer plant's getting close to being done, and the water, who knows. It's just a matter of getting officers before everything starts happening. And I'm not saying you're gonna, as you've been told, open the floodgates. I'm sure you're gonna pick and choose and do what's right, but I know we're gonna grow, or I think we're gonna grow, and I'd like to kind of be ahead of it at the start with officers and trained officers, and instead of trying to hire them, train them, and get behind the 8 ball before it starts happening. So that's kind of why I was asking for officers. Just have them trained and ready to roll, so when we do grow, we got qualified people there.
We'll check on the budget.
Okay.
I remember, go ahead.
I think it was replacement, and then you still had one. Because at one time you were asking for 2 additional, correct?
And we approved one last year, and we
I
were
think in
planning on doing one
2025,
last
we
year.
approved one, and then it got down to where the fire department, we couldn't find anybody as the year went, and then got down to where the fire department had their issues, and then I was told to stand down on that per person.
Okay.
And then I asked for another one in 2026.
Yeah.
I thought it got approved, maybe, perhaps it was cut.
It may have.
I don't recall.
We just need to verify. We'll have an answer for you by the first meeting in March.
Okay,
How
that's
about
fine. I won't be here, by the way,
that? I won't either.
just to give you a heads up.
Second meeting in March.
Yeah.
That'll be a fun meeting.
That sounds
anyway.
good. You know, and just the benefits of having it is, one, we don't have to count on our reserves as much, and, you know, cuts down on our overtime. Our overtime did drop a little bit from the year prior, even with Hudson being out all year and Jensen leaving. It seems that 12-hour shift is kind of, and we got a few more reserves that actually work. We've got 9 now instead of I think the 5 that we had trying to float through all last year. On page 2, last really big item is just our station maintenance. I know I brought this up in the past, whether or not you guys are going to build a new clerk's office and police department and all that good stuff, but if not, like last year I mentioned, like replacing some doors and windows and such. We did replace a couple of doors that had been there for 20 plus years, and I think the doors are good, windows, you know, and the furnaces, all that, but we're trying to do whatever we can to keep things updated. The one other thing, you know, if you don't think there's anything in the near future as far as a new station or whatever, and right now I don't think we'd really need one. I think we manage just fine on what we got going on. We got room for our department. The only thing that comes into play is when we train with Arcadia and they bring their 12, 13, and we try to meet in our conference room. It gets a little crowded. However, there's other options. Sometimes we go to Arcadia and meet, and we can come here. But one thing we're kind of looking into, since we have so many people that do not live in Cicero, we got 19 officers, and I think 2 of us live in town, 2 or 3 of us live in town. 2 full-time and 1 reserve. Everybody else lives outside Arcadia, or not, outside of town, and a couple of them live outside the county. Is maybe trying to do like a shower. We got a locker room for them to store stuff, but sometimes in the summer when it gets really hot, and 2 things I can think of, they did that search warrant down there in this nasty old house in about the 500 block of right around the corner from your house, with all the stolen parts, and it was just like no air conditioning, full of feces and urine and all that, and they were wearing their Tyvek suits, and then they had nowhere to go.
Do you have space for it?
That's another issue, is figuring out where to go. I think it might be a little difficult, just by the way the sewer, I think, way it drained, and I haven't talked to Terry, but I think it ran down the north side of the building, kind of toward the front. We could take over some of the garage, one of the bays in the garage, I thought, maybe even build it, but then it's on a slab, and trying to get sewer through the slab and to tie into that, and I thought, well, maybe we can go up, and then you get into plumbing and ductwork and everything by going up, and I don't know, it may be a challenge. I haven't really talked to him, but it's just thoughts I've had. I tried to get a plumber up there, and he kept putting me on. Well, didn't keep putting me off. Forgot to come on the one time just to see if it's feasible to get water and sewer to the garage easily. Because right now we got a sink in the garage, but it goes through the wall, outside of the wall, in a furnace room, and drains into a floor drain. So it's not really tied into the drain system at all. Just kind of does its thing. And so, like I said, I think we can maintain with what we got. It's just a couple things we'd kind of like to add to it if we're going to stay there for a while.
I mean, I'm not aware of any discussions that are happening,
Yeah,
so.
I hadn't either. I just wishful thinking or something like that.
I think there's better places to spend that money.
Yeah. Okay. And that's about it. Next one is all the full-time officers and the years of service they got. And then you just get into stats for what of it's this past year. Then there's some that kind of show you how things went in the prior years. And
So going back to your current officers, everybody fairly happy?
I think so. I got one guy who's, it wouldn't matter what's going on, he's upset about something. But, you know, I hate to lose people, but it seems like when we lost maybe the last one, that some people got in better moods.
They like the new shifts?
They love the
They're
shifts.
doing 12,
Yeah, 12 hours, they love them.
really? Okay.
Yeah, because we made a comment about when, I forget exactly what it was, we were losing one, and it's like, well, our option is, you're gonna have to work with reserves a lot, or we'll go back to 8 hours, and they're like, I'll work. I think they just like, they don't have to be in town as much, they kind of get more days off. I mean, working 12-hour shifts, but if they plan it out right, there's 1 week, I don't know if you know that, in a 14-day period, 1 week they'll work 5 days, 5 12-hour days, 60 hours, and then the second week they work 24 hours,
Okay.
2 days. So if they're smart about it and they plan it out, if they just take those 2 days off, they could have a 7-day weekend until they burn up all their vacation.
I mean, that's not 2 days of vacation though, correct? Because your vacation's hours, not days, is that correct?
Yeah, it's 24 hours vacation, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. But no, they like the hours, they like I said, being able to be at home more, especially when the little kids.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. And if anybody knows, Pete Senefield, his wife went into labor yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah, she wasn't due until March 1st, and, but water broke, and they've been at the hospital overnight, and I think she was 2 centimeters this morning. So I don't know where she's at now, but she's processing really slow.
Just,
You're on camera.
it's all recorded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
No, it's fine, just want to,
And like I said, the rest of it's just stats, so I don't know if you want to read it later. If you got questions on anything, I'll try to
Are these
answer.
stats just in the town limits, or are these any call we would have gone on? or-
Any call we would have gone on. So
Okay.
some of them are assisting the sheriff or
Right.
Arcadia.
Why are people still getting gun permits?
Some people get them so they can carry them in the surrounding states.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because that's what I think every time somebody comes up there and goes, I want a permit. Like, but, you know, some of the states recognize ours.
Perpetuity, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
anything you guys need help with?
I don't think so. You know, I've had to, kind of went to some of the officers and just asked, you know, things that they might want, thinking about, and maybe we need for the future. So I got drones are getting to be a big part of police work. Some of the bigger agencies got them, like, I think, permanently mounted on different areas. Officers carrying them in their cars. They just had, where was that, in Fishers, the guy kind of barricaded himself in a house. I don't know if anybody heard about that. And they called out their little emergency response team to go down there, and they got like smaller drones where they'll break a window, put it in the house and fly it around so officers don't have to go in, and they can just see what's going on. So we got officers that's inquired about that. Don't know if we're there.
Like heat signature too, or just,
You can. Some are just drones with cameras on them,
okay,
but you can get like, you know, little night vision or heat sensors, lights.
Do you have any drones?
No. No, the thing, you know, the sheriff's department has them, emergency management has them, and they're all willing. Noblesville has them. Noblesville came up here, we had a missing person last year, 2 years ago, and they brought their drone up here and utilized it, but That's personally, no. That's what one of our officers brought it up. It's like, well, what's a drone gonna cost? And he's like, $8,000 or so roughly to start. But then you gotta get somebody to become a pilot and licenses and things of that nature.
One of these days.
Yeah, the emergency response teams, dive teams for out here, but I know we don't patrol it. I don't have any plans on patrolling it myself, unless I'm told to. I know we got the boat, more of a recovery, I think, more than a rescue. I don't know if the fire department has any other intentions other than that, but, I mean, we had a dive team when I first started, and I don't know, we had reserves and full-time, and we probably had, guessing, maybe 10 divers, and everybody's equipped. The department bought them their stuff, and with I think what killed it was OSHA coming in with new standards and cost that we couldn't buy what they said we had to have, so ours kind of disbanded, but I have no idea what it'd cost to get a dive team together, and really even if we got one, how feasible it would be for us to operate, but.
You have domestic problems. I didn't see it.
You know, we get violent ones, we get verbal ones. It may be lumped in. Sometimes they get lumped in the battery too, and we had 20 battery calls, but I wouldn't say that's all domestics.
Do you still feel like it's one of your more dangerous calls?
It is. I mean, you know, you got people heated up and you don't know what they're doing. You're in their house. You don't know if they got, you know, a gun person, they got them stashed here or there. Or, you know, go in the kitchen, they got knives available or on their person. So it's definitely one of the, where people get hurt a lot. The Beech Grove people, that's what they responded to, my understanding. Yeah. So that's all I got, really. I said wasn't asking for much, and just.
They were hating on your liaison while you were late. Can you please defend me?
It was definitely 100% on me. If I'd had my phone, I may have made a phone call.
Or if your liaison would have just told you that, make sure that you knew it was here.
That's it. I knew it was here. I got no.
He sent the whole council to make sure they knew it was here, but he let you off, right?
Yeah, that's all right. No, it's all on me.
It was your retreat. I just
I know.
assumed you knew.
I knew it was a 6.
Yeah, thank you. Well, you got half of it,
Hey,
right?
Jeff, on traffic stops,
Yes, sir.
so under you, it's 8825, 10718. What do those numbers mean? Citations, stop citations?
So I
So
stopped
20
107, and I wrote 18 tickets. So the first number is total stops, and that's how many tickets you wrote.
Rhonda,
This is 5, this
do we need
is
to make a
4.
motion to close? I never gavelled in.
Yeah, she took a vote.
She did, but I just never hit the gavel.
You don't have to do that, it's okay. Okay, so then, I mean, you guys are still talking about why some people are behind the curve, right? Okay.
That's what I'm waiting on them to finish.
I mean,
talking.
usually, most years, you're the high end.
I think I was this year like number 3, at least in writing tickets. 3 or 4.
Why, set up that one? Is that his?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and gavel out. Somebody make a motion.
No, we still have time, we're still talking.
I just want to
So-
thank you, Chief. You and your whole team do a great job. And, you know, I'm glad we live in a town that's proud of our police officers and support our police officers. Thank you. Rob.
Who's that?
I complained on it the other day, but
Who's that?
Were you late? Was that the complaint? You were late?
Micah?